Hello and welcome. My name is Tiviana Marie. I'm a quantum healer and a soul embodiment guide, and this is the Reclaiming Mastery podcast, a sacred space dedicated to providing you with practical and effective guidance to awaken the healer within, ignite your inner wisdom, and reclaim your mastery. On today's episode of the podcast, we'll be diving into one of my absolute favorite topics, and this is the topic of innocence and reclaiming innocence. Oftentimes, when people hear the word innocent, we often think of this like childlike naivety, maybe this almost this weakness and this ability to be taken advantage of. And this could not be further from the truth. See, innocence and the frequency of innocence is an extremely powerful frequency. It is an angelic frequency that's inherent to the original divine blueprint of humanity. Now, I know many of us look out into the world and we say, I don't see this innocence. I don't experience innocence in this world. And this is because our innocence is something that has been systemically and purposefully hijacked and distorted longer than we can remember, right? For thousands of years, our innocence has been purposely targeted. And why would these forces purposefully target our innocence? Well, this is because, again, innocence is this extremely powerful frequency. Innocence, in this frequency of innocence, it is the remembrance of each of us as the holy child of God. In this innocence, right, we get this holy trinity of the Holy Mother, the Holy Father, and the Holy Child. And when we remember ourselves as the holy divine child of God, well, with this comes perfect peace, perfect love, perfect purity, and perfect co-creatorship with God. So by attacking our innocence, right, through means of war, lack, poverty, pain, suffering, trauma, by purposefully attacking humanity's innocence, you attempt to attack their co-creatorship with God. So when we look out into the world and we say, well, I don't see much innocence, this is why. Now, one of my favorite quotes is a quote from Yeshua, aka Jesus Christ, and it's something along the lines of, come again like a little child to enter the kingdom. And see, the profundity of this is so often overlooked. Come again like a little child to enter the kingdom. Well, when we connect with the frequency of the inner child, and this goes beyond just ourself as our 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 2-year-old self, and actually to our purest, again, our pure divine blueprint as a divine child. And in this frequency, right, so many of us, again, this has been hijacked. Our childhood was hijacked, and we didn't get to experience, this peace, this love, this play that I'll discuss. However, this is an energy, this is this frequency that is within all of us. And in this frequency of the inner child, right? This is something, if you've been in the healing space, so whether this is a clinical healing space, a spiritual healing space, you have heard of the divine child or of the inner child, right? We've done inner child work. And what is so often overlooked is that so many people look to the inner child as a place to go to heal trauma, right? To integrate fragments. And all of this is absolutely positive and absolutely powerful. However, it's so often overlooked that this frequency of the inner child is actually somewhere we go to reclaim our mastery. It's actually also a frequency of mastery. So not only can we find our healing there, but we can also tap into this ancient healing, this power, this wisdom that's within us. So as we look at this frequency of the inner child, and we think, okay, so what are some characteristics of the inner child that are also characteristics of a master? Well, I will use one example. As children go out into the world, right? Again, this is in a perfect environment full of love, right? This is the ideal situation. As a child walks out into the world, they have not yet been programmed with all these egoic pictures of how people should or shouldn't be, how the world should or shouldn't be, or wanting it to change in the way that we think it should. So children don't necessarily, right, 2 year olds, they don't necessarily judge white and black or Republican and Democrat or, this person and this person, but they're able to see the world through these eyes of wonder, through this lens of awe, right? You're able to, so in this, as we adopt this frequency, we're able to sit with someone, hold space for someone and ourselves in this way, this fully present way where we're able to receive them and not receive, again, the projections that we have placed onto them, but to receive them as they are, as the Holy Child. Now, another frequency, something I just touched on, which is huge when we talk about mastery. And this is the frequency of presence, of being fully grounded and present. See, when we look out at when we look out at children, right? So I have a 2-year-old daughter, and let's say she's really upset, so she throws a huge fit, right? She's throwing a tantrum, she's so angry, whatever's going on, and then 5 minutes later, she's smiling, she's laughing, because she's fully present. She allowed whatever needed to arise. She allowed these emotions, these big energies to arise, and then to move through her, so she's able to be present in the next moment. And see, this is incredible wisdom, because so often in our world, what happens is these big emotions, these big experiences, right? This trauma, whatever it is, arises within us. And we've been so conditioned to judge ourselves, judge others, judge our emotions. So as these feelings, as these emotions arise, rather than allowing this energy, right? Emotions are energy in motion. Rather than allowing this to move through us, we judge it. And in this judging, we create resistance. So often, right, when I'm working with clients and even in myself, these emotions, this energy gets stuck in our physical and our energetic, our spiritual bodies. And this energy being stuck manifests as anything from aches and pains to depression, anxiety. And what happens is that energy ends up actually dictating our lives unconsciously for 30, 40 years after that. So, again, this is so powerful because this inner child frequency allows what wants to come up, what wants to arise within them and without them, to do so without so much judgment. And in this non-judgment, we allow the energy to move. We're able to be a pure channel. And in this purity, we are then able to be present in each moment. Again, so another beautiful thing is that purity, right? Before we're conditioned to have these egoic perceptions and projections on people and things, we are able to be a pure vessel for spirit, a pure vessel for God, so as God can create and birth what it wishes to into this world. Okay, so another frequency associated with both the inner child and with mastery, in my opinion. Of course, guys, anything I share, you take what resonates, you leave what doesn't. Remain empowered in your sovereignty to choose what's true for you. So, another frequency, one of my personal favorite frequencies that God is reminding me of all the time, is the frequency of play. See, humanity, all of life and creation was never meant to suffer. We were never meant to experience lack and trauma. That was not by design. In our original divine blueprint, we were meant to play, to experience the kingdom of heaven as a place within us and as a place that we can manifest outside of us. And so playing doesn't necessarily mean going and, playing with Play-Doh or building Legos, right? Playing could be being with your partner fully present. It could be sitting with the tree and honoring and feeling gratitude and love for this experience and just how sacred you and this tree are, right? So, in this energy of play, we are able to delve and relax into trust of God, trusting God for the path that's laid before us. So rather than something that we have to strive and work hard and fight and try and figure out, and it's so hard and so lacking, we, in our original divine template, again, we are able to allow the mystery to move through us, allow us to dance with the mystery that is life and that is God. Now, another frequency of mastery, and one again that's inherent to the divine child, is a frequency of peace. Now, again, so often when people think of peace, they think of passivity, right? Of not getting angry, not feeling your emotions. And again, this is simply not the truth, in my opinion. Peace isn't not allowing the waves of emotion to come, right? So you can allow the wave of anger, the wave of pain, the wave of grief, right? All of it, you allow it to arise, but you recognize that these waves arise from this eternal ocean of peace, this eternal ocean of perfect safety and perfect love that is our divine birthright as children of God. So again, come again like a little child to enter the kingdom. Some people, right? Some of us, and I know myself in the beginning, what? Can I really decide to reside in the kingdom of heaven now? Can I really claim that the kingdom of heaven can exist within me? Can I really accept that heaven on earth may be a frequency that first comes from within me? Well, I invite you to answer that question yourself. Can you have that experience? Can you allow yourself to awaken to your truth as this holy, and in holy I mean whole, this holy child of God? So, as always, here are some practical tools that I invite you, if they resonate with you, to try, right? Because all of this, you could be like, wow, that's really awesome, Tiv. I love what you're saying. Even, oh, I totally agree with you. But okay, how do I do that, right? How do I connect with this inner child frequency, especially if I did not even have a childhood that cultivated this frequency within me? Well, one practice that I would invite you to do, and this does, you have to be dedicated to this. If you could just dedicate 10 minutes of your day, doesn't matter what time of your day, 10 minutes of your day, the end of your day, beginning, whatever works for you, to sit with yourself, to sit with God, and to choose to recognize yourself, even if only for those 10 minutes, as the holy child of God, as the divine child who is perfectly loved, perfectly innocent, and in all truth, perfectly safe. And in those 10 minutes, if you can just decide that for these 10 minutes, I will claim, I will believe that I can exist alongside my Holy Mother and Holy Father as the divine child and in the kingdom of God, in the kingdom of heaven, just for 10 minutes. Another practice I invite you to do is, again, because of the judgment, when emotions arise or trauma arises, things arise in your consciousness and you recognize yourself judging you. Oh, why are you thinking that negative thought? Or you shouldn't be this way, or what's wrong with you? When you recognize that, I invite you to ask yourself, what would I say to my inner child in this moment? And very often you'd find, would you tell a little child, oh, your trauma isn't valid. Why are you whining? Why are you complaining? Would you tell your inner child that? Some of you may be like, yeah, right? But for most of us, no. Maybe you would tell your child, hey, it's okay. I understand this is tough. And I'm going to hold space for these emotions and I love you through them. So ask yourself that. What would I say to my inner child in this moment? So if you can choose to dedicate yourself to reclaiming this innocence, to remembering the innocence that is within and as you, you will not only do a great service to yourself, but I guarantee you will become a beacon of light to remember, for others to remember themselves as innocent, holy, divine children of God as well. And the more of us that can remember that, the more that our world will reflect this truth back to us. So thank you so much, and I will see you next Friday.